My name is Joseph Trumpeldor. Many remember me as the one-armed soldier who said, "It is good to die for our country." But I hope you will remember something more important than the way I died. Remember the way I chose to live. I was born in 1880 in Pyatigorsk in the Russian Empire. My father had spent 25 years in the Tsar's army. He had been forced into service simply because he was a Jew. Yet, through all those years, he never abandoned his faith or his dignity. From him, I learned that a Jew could endure hardship without surrendering his soul. As a young man, I believed deeply in justice. I admired the teachings of Leo Tolstoy. I was a vegetarian. I neither smoked nor drank. I hated violence. Yet, I also understood the painful truth that people unable to defend themselves will never be allowed to live in peace. When I was drafted into the Russian army, I volunteered for combat. Not because I loved war, but because I wanted to destroy the ancient lie that Jews were weak or cowardly. Then came the war against Japan. At Port Arthur, a shell tore through my left arm. The doctors amputated it. They expected my military service to end that day. Instead, I wrote to my commander, "I still have my right hand. Give me a sword and a pistol and let me return to my comrades." They granted my request. I returned to the front. When our position finally fell, I became a prisoner of war. The Japanese offered to release me because of my disability. I refused. I would not leave while my fellow soldiers remained behind barbed wire. Instead, I built something. We created schools. We organized a library. We published a newspaper. We formed a Zionist society. Even in captivity, a Jew could build a future. The Japanese camp administrators became deeply fascinated by my dignity and absolute loyalty to my men, despite the disability. They believed they were witnessing the ultimate embodiment of Bushido, the samurai code of honor. Years later, I came to our ancient homeland. At Degania, some wondered how a man with one arm could work the fields. I tied the reins around my neck, gripped the plow with my remaining hand, and worked from sunrise until sunset. Together with my friend Ze'ev Jabotinsky, we proposed something the world had not seen for nearly 2,000 years: a Jewish military unit. The British offered us not an infantry regiment, but a combat utility unit. Some thought it beneath our dignity. I disagreed. Armies cannot fight without supplies. Every sack of grain, every box of ammunition, every wounded soldier carried from the battlefield brings victory one step closer. So we accepted. The Zion Mule Corps became the first officially recognized Jewish military unit since the days of Bar Kokhba. Under relentless shellfire, our men carried supplies where others hesitated to go. We proved that the Jewish people were prepared to take responsibility for our own destiny. General Sir Ian Hamilton wrote admiringly in his personal diary, "They have shown great courage, taking supplies up to the line under heavy fire. They proved invaluable to us." Later, I returned to Russia and founded He Chalutz, training thousands of young Jews to work the land, defend themselves, and prepare for life in our homeland. In 1919, I returned once more to the Galilee. The settlements in the north stood isolated, surrounded by violence and uncertainty. When Tel Hai called for help, I went without hesitation. On the first day of March 1920, a misunderstanding became a battle. Bullets flew. Friends fell beside me. I was struck in the stomach. Whether my final words were remembered exactly as spoken no longer matters. What matters is the principle they came to represent. A nation is not built because people wish for freedom. It is built because ordinary men and women are willing to work for it, sacrifice for it, and, if there is no other choice, defend it. I was only 39 years old. I never married. I left behind no children. The family I dreamed of was sacrificed for another family, the Jewish people. Today, the city of Kiryat Shmona bears the memory of the 8 defenders who fell at Tel Hai. Young people still speak my name through the Betar movement, and generations continue to debate my life, my choices, and my words. That is as it should be.
Do not make me into a statue. Do not remember only the soldier with one arm. Remember the farmer who loved the soil. Remember the teacher who built schools in a prison camp. Remember the idealist who longed for peace, but understood that peace must sometimes be defended. If my life has any lesson, it is this. The strength of a people is measured not by how eagerly it fights, but by how faithfully it builds, and by whether, when history demands courage, it is prepared to stand.